Okay, this is a pre-trip on 846. Before we lift this cab up, we're going to move those booms out of the way. Down here, you'll see this gold pin, and just below it, there's a cotter pin. Pull that out. Put it somewhere you won't lose it, and that just slides right out. And you're going to take this, put it at a 90 as best you can. You might have to undo the top boom and slide it out. You want it at a 90 like that so you don't smash your windshield. It's easier to lift the cab up with both the doors open. So I'm going to come over here and open this door. Make sure there's nothing in there that's going to come flying down. And I'm going to come over here and open this door. With both my doors open, it's a lot easier to lift this thing. If not, it's heavy. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this lever and pull it towards me like that while simultaneously lifting this up. I need both hands to do this, so I got to put you down for a second. Pull that lever, first lever towards you, lift this one up. Now, again with both hands, I'm going to pull this one towards me, and I'm going to hold right here so I don't slingshot the cab up, because with the doors open, the cab pretty much wants to lift it up by itself. So, holding, slide this towards me, and just kind of guide it up. Make sure this knee is locked into place, like so, and then take this pin that's just below it, pull that out of there, and it's like a key, it only goes one way. So you stick it in that hole, and that ensures that that knee is not going to knock out of place and the cab is going to come down. You're going to need a towel for this, but it's on the other side. But over here, we could at least check our tread. Make sure you can stick your finger in there and the tread comes halfway up your fingertip. Check your shock out. Make sure you don't see any oil leaking down the bottom part of the shock. Check your axle seals. A little hard to do that, but a telltale sign is you'll see oil dripping down the inside of the tire. Make sure all your steering linkages are tight. You shouldn't be able to move them. Check out your leaf springs in the front. Make sure they're not cracked. Make sure this fuse box panel is on. That ensures that your truck will run properly. And check your fire extinguisher. Make sure that yellow needle is in the green mark. Make sure this pin is in there so it doesn't discharge on you without you wanting it to. It's a little hard to see, but you can kind of see a serpentine belt from this side. Make sure that's not worn or damaged. And we'll come around to the other side. If you wanted to, you could also put the doors down with the doors closed. So that's what I'm going to do on my way over there. Once again, same thing on this side. Check all your tire components and your suspension components. Here's your washer fluid. Make sure that's topped off. It's a violation if it's empty. Check out your coolant reservoir. Your fluid should be in between max and min. So right there is good. This yellow ring is your dipstick. This is how you fill your oil. It takes 5W30. And this is your transmission. Your oil you're going to check when the vehicle is off and cold, which means you haven't been running it. And your transmission you're going to check when the vehicle is on and has been running for a little while. If you look on top of the motor, it gives you some information. So once again, it takes 5W30 dextrose oil, about 6 quarts. And it says Dex ATF fluid only. So if you ever need to top any of those up, that's your information you're going to need to know. So we're going to check our fluids. So checking your oil requires you to take the dipstick out, wipe it off the first time, put the dipstick back in just so it's flush. Then you're going to take it out, and that's your oil rating, which is good. So the oil was a little bit up here, which is a little over full, but it's not too bad. But your sweet spot is right there in that middle hole. Anywhere in this hash is okay. Don't run it too low, because then you're going to have engine problems. If you run it completely low, you're going to blow your motor. So always make sure your oil is in this range right here. Because you may not be able to hear me very well, I'm going to check the transmission fluid now. The vehicle is not running. When you go to check it, it has to be running. So same thing, except you just flip this latch up. This latch is a locking mechanism. Pull it out, wipe it off, stick it back in, and then pull it out. You should see some red fluid on there. I have had it running recently, so it's at a pretty good mark. It is in the hot zone. That's where it should be when you check it too. If it's anything below the hot zone, if you're checking it after it's been running for a while, that means you're low on transmission fluid. So pay attention. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move down the line a little bit. So I'll show you a dual set. So check your mud flaps. Make sure they're not dragging on the ground or too high up to the bed. Check it out, your PSI rating right there. All four corners should have a PSI rating if you do need to put air in your tires. Same thing, check your lug nuts. Make sure they're tight. Check your tread. Make sure you have enough on both duals. That's a little low right there. Handy dandy flashlight. Check your leaf springs right there, all the way around, all the way up to the front, the front of the tire. Make sure those aren't cracked or damaged. Take a look in between your duals, make sure you don't see any rocks in there. And then once again, check behind the tire for axle seal leaks. So we'll let the cab down. But we'll check our list just to make sure we didn't miss anything from the outside. Underhood stuff. Engine, transmission, power steering. I did not see a power steering reservoir, so I'm assuming that it is electronic. We checked our belts, coolant, washer fluid. Didn't see any leaks. Steering linkage, front suspension, an exhaust system. You'll be able to check when you start the vehicle. You'll hear any exhaust leaks. It'll be pretty loud. But, alright. So we'll let the cab down. You're going to take this pin out, stick it back in its holder, like so. And I'm going to put you down for a second, but what I'm doing is I'm pushing this lever in, and I'm kind of bumping this knee out of place. While I'm doing that, I'm holding the cab here, so it doesn't come crashing down. So, set that up. Now that it's down, you're going to push this lever down, and that locks your cab. If you tug on it and it doesn't move, great. Oh boy. Inside here, you shouldn't find your keys in the dash. Your keys should be in the job box or in the toolbox that's located on the back of your truck. That prevents our keys from getting locked inside. I'm going to turn the accessory switch on so I can go through lights. You could start it at this point. I'm just doing it so you can hear me better. But with your vehicle on, make sure all your gauges work. Right here is your parking lights and your headlights. And on this switch is your speed control for your wipers and your washer fluid. Make sure that sprays. Check your defrost settings. Make sure they work. Check your parking brake. All you gotta do is pull up on it, and then you should be able to put it in with your foot on the brake, put it in gear, and then if you take your foot off the brake, the truck should not roll. If it doesn't roll, that means your parking brake is working, and so on. I'm also going to stick my 4-ways on. Those are located right here on your dash. I'm going to stick my beacon on so I can check those as well. Your seat belt, since you're sitting here, snap that into place. Tug on it, make sure it works. I'm also going to look behind me to make sure I have my triangles. And I'm going to beep the horn just to see if it works. Okay. So we'll do a walk around, check some lights. I'll show you where all the lights are. So you have a marker light on your door. You have low beams and turn signals. Low beams and turn signals. Up on top of the cab, you have marker lights. Oh, I forgot something. Right here is your brake fluid. Make sure you check that. You should be able to kind of see it right there. It's kind of like light and dark. If you have to, you can unscrew that cap. But make sure these caps go back on like so you don't lose them. You have a marker light on your bed. You have 2 beacons up there. Another marker light. Markers all across the back. Make sure your license plate light works. That's that light right there. Another marker light on the corner. Same thing here. And right there. With another person, it's best if you check brake and reverse lights. I don't have another person right now. They're all busy. But if you have to, I suppose you could stick something on the brake pedal to kind of hold it down and you can go back and check it. But it's preferred that you have somebody standing behind the vehicle with brake and reverse, just so it's a little safer. High beams. To engage your high beams, you just push this stick away from you and that blue jellyfish tells you that they're on. You'll know that they're on if you come out here and both headlights are lit. They're the same, they're in the same spot as the low beams, but they're a different bulb. To disengage it, you just pull the stick back towards you. To flash it, you just do that. I'm going to turn my beacon lights off and my headlights off, and we'll see what we missed. So, in cab, oh yeah, check your windshield, make sure you don't see any cracks or chips or damage it. Make sure, same thing with your mirrors, check those out. Turn signal, we went through all those lights, mirrors, windshield wipers, horn, gauges, heater, defrost, parking brake, seatbelt, loose items. Okay, those are good. We already did under the hood stuff. Around the vehicle, fuel tank cap, door secures. Check your doors. Make sure that they're secure. You know, open and close them. Make sure they don't swing open on you. What was I gonna do? Oh, your fuel tank. Your fuel tank is located on your driver's side all the way in the back. This is a gas truck. Only put gas in here. Make sure that this is on and tethered and tight and it's not going nowhere. You don't want any debris in your system. Your weight for this vehicle is located right here. It's one of the first lines, 12,000 pounds. That information will go right there, GCVWR, gross vehicle weight rating. And your height is located right in front of you as you're sitting in the seat, 9'4". That goes right there. Make sure you have a proper driver's license, which would be your normal license. It does not require a CDL. Make sure you have your medical card and your proper PPE. This is a spray vehicle, so it'd be along the lines of hard hat, gloves, glasses, shoes, socks, boots, long sleeve shirts, etc. Once again, your toolbox is located in the back of the truck. This is a separate toolbox, though. It's just like a little tiny normal toolbox that we fill with tools in case you have a breakdown. Make sure you get a good night's sleep, and then the brakes self-adjusting. You don't got to worry about that. They're good. Okay. Have a good day.